Aloha, everybody. I am here with Kenya, who is a womb healer trained in the Health Practitioner Training. She's also a Reiki master and teacher and founder of Butterfly Birthworks. And I'm so excited to have you here today, Kenya. Thank you for being here. I want to ask you some questions about your experience with taking the Womb Health Practitioner Training and what it's been like to go through this 9-month experience and now implement it fully into your business. I mean, you've really taken it away since you learned these methods. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I adore you, Numana, and I'm so excited to share more about my journey with you.
I know, I adore you too. And like we realized pretty soon off the bat that we have very similar astrology and also born near the waxing moon. So yeah, I feel like we've had this like soul sister connection since the beginning.
Absolutely, yes.
Hmm. So,
Mm.
what was it that sparked you to initially join the womb health practitioner training? Because I know that you'd done some courses with me in the past, and then there was a moment that you're like, I want to take this a step further. I'm curious, what was it in your life that you knew wanted to, yeah, why did you reach out?
Yeah, so from the moment I connected with you, I knew I wanted to do the full suite of offerings that you had. I was like, I want to know what this woman knows. Like, I want to have this confidence and this assurance around how the womb works and how I can support it. I had already been trained as a doula, and I loved that training dearly. And I also realized it was very much centered on pregnancy and postpartum. And I became incredibly curious about how to support my body in the moment and in the now. So I immediately was really attracted to what you were doing because I had that craving for that information. And I knew from the jump I wanted to do the certification. I just didn't know when it would actually work for me. And when I reached out to you, I had relocated to Costa Rica and I had started connecting with coaching clients who kept asking me if I could help them with their womb. And I really wanted the answer to be yes. So immediately, once I started getting those questions from people, I was messaging you just like, hey, is there a space for me in your next certification? And I basically planned with my clients, okay, let's work on these things to basically prepare you for the womb healing. And I'm going to go get certified in this and I'm going to give it my all so that I can say yes and support you with what you're going through.
It's so interesting that you shared this piece because I have a lot of clients that end up coming through the certification that I've also heard this very thing around their clients have stuff going on with the womb or the sacral chakra. There's a lot of emotions there. There's a lot of challenges with our feminine connection just because of this society that we live in and how stressful and fast paced it can really be. And so I just love how your mind is rooted in service and how you're wanting to expand your offerings so that you can serve your clients even more fully. So I know, Kenya, during the case studies, one of the things that stood out to me the most when you were sharing with me your process was you said that you had a client or maybe a couple that had this place that they keep getting to that felt stuck. And then when you offered the womb clearing session, that this place that your client was stuck at suddenly that opened up and they were able to move through things that had been stuck for a long time. So, would you be willing to share a bit more about that experience and how it was able to help them?
Yeah, the case studies were super impactful. And I'm really grateful that I had that experience because I started out a bit nervous, right? With womb healing, these are really big things that we're holding for people, right? We're talking about sexual trauma, we're talking about birth trauma, we're talking about ancestral relationships and parent relationships and all this kind of things. And I was most concerned with, can I show up and actually hold a big space like that, especially if there's trauma that can be moving? And it was really affirming for me to go into the case studies a little bit nervous, and that being my biggest concern. And then seeing with each womb clearing that I was hosting that I would get more confident. And then the person who I was connecting with would have an even bigger release the more that I actually practiced. And it didn't take too many, right? I think I did 3 in my case studies that were actual womb clearings. And what I was able to observe was that in with this template that you have for us, that is, it's both tight and loose, right? It's like you want to make sure you hit these different pillars as you're holding this ceremony. And then also there's all of this space for you to weave in whatever you already carry wisdom in, right? So I was able to weave in the things I learned in my birthwork training. I was able to weave in Reiki and the shamanic drumming and all of this stuff. And so it's this really awesome template where you get to have your own flair, and then you also have the medicine of the template itself. And what I witnessed in these womb clearings was that my clients, they were remembering things that they didn't actually have an awareness of how, oh, that was the root moment that affected this pattern that I've had for the last several decades. Or it was like, we've been working together for 8 months together, and all of a sudden in the womb clearing, you're telling me what the big T trauma is, and we're actually going in and we're clearing that somatically. I had no idea that that happened to you, and it also makes sense because of the things we've been working through. And then now in this one ceremony, we're able to actually bring that to the surface safely and release it. So it was incredibly magnificent. It was very powerful, and I was impressed and a bit stunned. You don't realize that, just by going in with an open heart and with this training, that you really can hold the space. But it's just so true that you can, and you're prepared and ready for that.
Mm, absolutely. Every session really is this mystery. You don't know what's going to show up. And yeah, the more safe and held and feeling like there's a sacred space our clients have, that's when these deeper, like you said, the root cause, the deeper layers can actually emerge and be held, and so much transformation can occur from there. So really it is such a powerful, heartfelt role to be a womb healer and to be serving women in this way, because there's just things that women, we can't reveal that when we're in a doctor's office where we have 7 minutes and we're getting a protocol, and it's there's not room for that. But like when there's actual sacred space, that's where the deeper layers can be revealed. And it's because of that reason that I know you're not the only one. I mean, this is so common for those who are taking this training during the case studies to start to feel that apprehension and nervousness, which I always like to see nervousness as actually excitement. It's like the same energy, or like feel fear or feel
No, I
excited.
saw I saw this really awesome post. My friend shared it a couple weeks ago, and it said, "Fear is just excitement without breath."
Oh, I love this. Yeah. 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 And it's so common for that to come up, because when we're about to go in a big space with somebody and there's not this protocol, there's the mystery. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going to come up? But as you found, and as so many others have found, is that just being there and being in that transformation arc with somebody is so powerful, so liberating. And not only for them, for you, for me too. I mean, that's why I love doing this work. It's like every time a woman is liberated, I feel that alchemy inside myself as well. And together we know that we're in solidarity, hand in hand, like liberating the whole feminine collective. So yeah, I remember in the beginning, you're like, I don't know this. And then you had said to me, I think it was after your 4th womb clearing ceremony that you did online for a group, somebody ended up writing you, "This is the best, most powerful ceremony I've been led in online." And you were like, "Numana, this is the 4th one, only the 4th one I've done. Imagine where I could be in 50, in 100 from now."
Yeah.
Which I mean also shows just a testament to you, Kenya, and the space, the willingness to go there. And I know that you were at every session, you were watching the methodology videos, you were participating in the demos, you were doing the work. So yeah, I see that as a testament to your space holding skills. And so I'm curious, that was the fourth one you've ever done. Now you've done many, many more. Where are you at now? I mean, I think it's been a year since you graduated. Where are we at now, with the womb clearing? How has this like fully integrated into your business? And I'm also curious to hear also, not only the service piece, but also the financial piece. How has this supported you in a whole new skill set, a whole new add-on that you can serve your clients with and also receive from?
Yeah, so we started the certification a little over a year ago, and I finished my case studies maybe 9 months ago. And I mean, it's very much a grounding pillar in what I offer. The main course that I have is a 6 to 9 month intuitive rebirth called Astral Authority. And in that class, there's an entire pillar that is just womb healing. And basically in between all the other pillars, we go into womb ceremony, and we start off a bit gentle with the yoni steaming, and then we go into rage ritual and womb clearing, and then we have this womb to heart ceremony that we do. And so it all stems from what I learned in the certification. And I get every single time, it's like, okay, the womb ceremonies is where you get those instant results. It's where you get to really be fully embodied with who you're growing into, and it's where you basically it's kind of like puts all the puzzle pieces together, right? Of the Reiki and the shamanic work that we do, and the womb clearing and in the womb healing, you get to feel all of it. You get to feel your power, and you get to feel those results really fast. So it's something that it's always going to be included in when I offer some form of womb clearing. And then also it's what people ask me about the most. So I'm also just like, okay, I feel very grounded and confident in the ceremonial aspect. And I definitely want to expand to more of the one-on-one coaching around lifestyle shifts and all of that. That was also included in the class. Like I haven't even opened that Pandora's box yet, but I'm definitely getting the request to. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I just think it's life changing when you start to realize, oh, I have the portal of creation inside of my body. And that's the same energy that created the cosmos, that created the universe, the earth, all the plants and the animals and the humans. It's the same energy living inside my body. And I get to clarify that energy, and I get to access it, and I get to attract miracles by being in ceremony with my own creation energy. Like it's huge and it's life changing. So yeah, it's always going to be a part of what I share with the world. And then financially, I went into the certification just very dedicated, very committed to picking up everything that you were putting down. I was just like, okay, like I want this to work for me, and I want to see the financial success because I support myself. I support myself. I don't have any side jobs or anything like that. And I relocated to a new country, Costa Rica, a few years ago with this fire in my heart that I was going to support myself while I was here and for the rest of my life. And what the certification did is you had some wonderful teachings that you had, and then you also had different friends and mentors come in to make sure that we understood how important it is to have a strategy around our business, to have more of a cycle and a funnel that can be repeated over time so that we get to experience mastery, and so that our audience gets to become very familiar with who we are and what we do and the containers that we hold and when they're happening and how long they are and all those wonderful things. So in JFL, right from the beginning, you had us do some reflection, right? About what is it that we're offering? How do we want to weave womb healing into our business? And what's the client journey? And so that sparked the inspiration for me to have some free things that I offer to people so that there's an a simple way to be attracted to what I'm doing and to get to know me a little bit and how to pace out the different levels of investment with how folks can work with me. And it just completely shifted and brought into alignment the way that I was thinking about myself. Because yes, I'm this energy healer and this womb healer, and then I also build houses, and then I'm also a birth worker. And the reflections we did in the beginning, it was really like, okay, what's the central theme here, and how can I breathe that through everything that I do, even if they're seemingly different? So definitely, if you're a multi-hyphenate creator, like this is going to be really helpful to really bring that synergy to what it is that you're doing. And then I was able to host, I'm right now in launch mode for season 4 of my program that I developed, part of the curriculum while I was in the certification with you. And so to now be like opening up seats for my 4th group and to be hosting my first retreat in Costa Rica this year. And, I had my first, I think I had my first, is it 5-figure launch? Yeah, my first 5-figure launch near the end of the certification. And then this year, I'm just like, okay, I want to be a 6-figure business. And I know that all of the things that I started with you last year, it's all just flowing and expanding into me actually being able to do that.
Ah, Kenya, I have goddess bumps like all over my body right now. I'm excited to hear about your retreat that's coming up. So proud of you. And yeah, a few key pieces that you spoke to that I think is important to highlight. Even before what you just said, you had shared that, you have all these other skill sets, and then you brought in the womb healing. You got this, this protocol and this arc and this way of serving. And then you also had the space to blend in with your other offerings. And that's what this training is about. We have people who come in who are counselors and fitness coaches and Reiki healers and yoga instructors and even nurses. And it's like this training can amplify and work with the other trainings. And I want everyone to take just to amplify their unique soul gifts and come into harmony with all of it to package it in a way that is going to serve others with their unique soul gifts. And so we really focus in on that authentic expression. This is like not a one size fits all protocol training. And yeah, and then we teach this ascension process with your business and how, it can be a lot to get one client here and book one client there and these like single sessions. So really understanding the the customer relationship and bringing people on a journey with you, and starting off with a free offer. We teach all of that because it's so important to build relationship and to connect with yeah, just with deep rapport, because with womb healing it's based on a lot of trust, and we want to make sure that our clients really see and feel us and understand our story, and we can connect with them heartfelt and genuinely. So this is all part of the business piece, which I just love because yes, business, like we even make strategy sexy, but also yeah, just to have a heart, because we're serving people, we're serving women in their wombs, and to stay connected to that piece I think is really important, because a lot of us heartfelt leaders, then once we get into business we're like, oh, but sales and marketing feels weird. So it's like we blend that all here to help you feel confident and proud of what you're offering, and create that heartfelt service that others can feel like they can lean into. So, Kenya, I just feel that you have you just revolutionized this work, the way that you've been able to take it and implement it into your business, like right off the bat. I know, you said you came into this program knowing that, you live in Costa Rica, you're providing for yourself and you're dedicated. And, some people will come into this program and they don't have as quick of a timeline and may go a little bit slower, but just you are a testament that, if you really apply this work and you integrate it and you go for it, that miracles and magic and expansion can happen really quick. So thank you for being that example and for sharing your stories today. And I'm just so curious, yeah, just with this whole training, is there anything that you'd want to say to somebody who's on the fence, who's thinking about doing it, but is feeling like that inner sabotage critic that's like, I want this, but like, I'm not going to finish
Mhm.
it. or I want this, but it's an investment. I don't know if I should really like, what would you speak to? Because I know you had to work through some things around that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, but you're not really feeling confident or like you can actually dedicate yourself fully to it, I would honestly take a couple days, like take a weekend, and on that goal for that weekend is to open up to the possibility of what it would feel like to go in all the way, right? And to start asking yourself, what if? Okay, what if I dedicate myself to these 9 months and I come out the other side fully confident as a leader, surrounded by new clients and people interested in what I'm doing? What if I actually do have the capacity and the time to make this work, to show up live to the classes, to watch the pre recorded sessions, to take the quizzes, to do the case studies? What if people in my community have been waiting for me to offer this and they are just waiting for me to invite them to be one of my case study people? Like, what if I actually have the time and the support and the community and the capacity to show up for myself? Like, what would that be like? And just take that weekend to imagine it. And every time you feel like, oh, but that's impossible, or like, who's going to watch my kid? Or, oh, but what about this part? You just ask yourself, well, what if there's a way around that?
Mhm.
And ideally, do this in nature. Like if you can be in your backyard or go to the water or to your favorite park or a tree, like set the space up for these 2 days over a weekend to just feel into the possibility and ask yourself, what if?
Hmm. This is incredible advice. Yeah, so much love. Well, where can people find you? I'm going to actually put your links in the show notes, but yeah, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Butterfly Birthworks, and if you can see my name on the little Zoom screen, you can see Butterfly Birthworks. It's spelled Bearth, so it's like birth but with earth in it. And yeah, that's going to be the best way to find me. DM me, say hello, let me know where you found me from, and you'll hear about all of the things I'm doing: the womb healing, the Reiki, the shamanic work, the construction, the life in Costa Rica. It stays very interesting in
Yeah.
my part of the world.
So inspiring, Kenya. Literally, you inspire me all the time and just so great. I know you are a full scheduled woman as well. So thank you for creating the space to share your voice and share your story here so others can also be inspired. And I love you dearly.
I love you too, Numana. I'm so excited to see who's going to be next in your certification world and just all the magic that's going to be created from that.
I love this. And yeah, you don't know this yet, but you're actually going to be a teacher this upcoming year. So everyone stay tuned.
Yay!
Kenya has something. And we're going to talk about that after the end of this recording. But I love you all so much. If you're thinking of applying, I invite you to do so. The application itself is like a coaching session. You get really clear. So make an elixir, take a sip, take a breath right from the soul, and then you can book a call with our enrollment specialist to find more. Thanks, everyone. Aloha.